Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the eighth session of this course, The Joy of Computing Using Python. All of you are doing this course, and we are 8 weeks done, only 4 weeks more to go. So, basically, 2 months of Python programming you people have done. And these live sessions are held for those of you who are joining for the first time. These live sessions are held every Saturday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. It is a 2-hour live session. And the aim of these live sessions is to solve previous year's assignment and quiz problems so that they help you in solving the current year's questions. Now, it so happens that the assignment problems from the past few years are quite similar because the concepts are same. So, solving the past year's papers will help you in solving the current year's questions as well. So, before we proceed, I would like to share with you the YouTube link of the channel. So, each of these live sessions is live streamed on the YouTube channel that I just mentioned in the chat box. So, if you Oh, thank you for pointing out Suraj. I think I was on mute. So, good afternoon, everyone. This is the eighth session of this course of on the joy of computing using Python. And for those of you who are joining for the first time, this is a live session for this course where we solve previous year's assignment problems. So every week, this session takes place on every Saturday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. It is 2 hours live session. And solving the previous year's questions will help you solve the current year's assignment and quiz problems. So I have put the link to the YouTube channel for this course in the chat box. So this is the channel where each of these live sessions are live streamed. So if you're facing some issues in Zoom, then you could as well go to the YouTube channel and watch this live stream on YouTube where it works perfectly fine. And also, if you have missed some of the previous sessions, or if you would not be able to attend some of the sessions in the future, then this YouTube channel is the place to go. Here, all the previous sessions are present, and all the sessions that I would take in the future would also be present on it. So you can go ahead and visit that YouTube channel. Okay, so with that being said, let us get started. Yeah, quality of the image is not good. So it seems to be that there must be some issue at your end with the Wi-Fi. If you could go and visit, and Zoom also sometimes it does to reduce the bandwidth. So Zoom does some funny things to accommodate many people. So it tries to do some things with the bandwidth. So if you go to the YouTube channel and watch it over there, I am sure, Suraj, you would feel that the quality on the YouTube channel is much better. Somehow inside Zoom, I have seen that because many people join with different internet bandwidths, so Zoom tries to accommodate, and somehow sometimes it reduces the quality. So, okay, so for any of you who are facing this quality issue, I would suggest visiting the YouTube channel. There, it is perfectly fine. Why? Because that streaming is from my end where I have good Wi-Fi connection. So when I'm streaming from my end on YouTube, it is just a connection of my Wi-Fi which comes into play and not the connection of everyone. So, and YouTube is better when it comes to quality, I have seen. So anyway, let's get started. So in this week, we were introduced to a new data structure called tuple. Okay, so previously we have seen data structures like lists and dictionaries. So this week, the focus has been to introduce all of you to another data structure called tuple. So some of these questions are based on tuples. So here is the first question. Let me just start the poll. Okay, so I have launched the poll. So please try to answer the question in the poll. The first question. First question says, what is the correct initialization of tuples? So you have some options and you need to select which is the correct option for tuples. Okay, so I have launched the poll. So take a minute to answer this question and then I will discuss. Okay, so let me stop the poll and let me share the results with all of you. Okay, so most of you have got this right. So the correct option is option D. So option A, note this is how you would initialize a list, and option C is how is you would do for dictionaries. Means curly braces are for dictionaries. Although this is not the correct way to define a dictionary, because you need key and value in dictionary, key and then the value. So this is how dictionary is initialized. So, and option B is for tuple. Okay, great. So we can move on to the next question now. Okay, next question is also on tuples. So this question says, what operations can be done on tuples? So you can just like you have lists and dictionaries and you can do quite a few operations on those. This question asks, what are the operations that you can do on tuples? So take a minute to answer this question. Okay, so let me stop the poll now. So the correct answer for this is option D. Now, tuples are fixed in the sense you cannot append the tuple or change the value of one element or try to delete one particular element. So, tuples are not appendable. This is not correct. Only option D is correct. And when it comes to deleting, you can delete the entire tuple, not just one value. You can delete entire tuple, means not just one value. And how do you delete the entire tuple? This is the syntax. You use the command del for delete. And how do you count the elements in the tuple? You do the following. So it will give you the count of the particular element, how many times this element occurs in the tuple. And some of the other operations that you can do is find the length of the tuple. These are some of the other things that you can do. Or you can find the index of a particular element. These are some of the other operations that you can do. But tuple is fixed. So tuples are fixed. You cannot append them, you cannot delete a particular value, and you cannot change the values. So in lists, you can append lists, you can change value in the lists, you can delete an element in the lists, but in tuple you cannot do that. Okay, so let us move forward. This is another question on tuple, and you need to predict the output of the following piece of code. So I have relaunched the poll. Please try to answer it. So one needs to predict the output of the following code, which involves tuples.
So let us keep it simple. What we can do is flatten the output. So we get.
Okay, it's my humble request to all of you that unless and until you have some doubt, please keep yourselves on mute. And if you have a doubt, just unmute yourself and ask, or you can use the raise hand option. Okay, so let me stop the poll now. And let me share the results of the poll. So most of you have got it right. So the correct option is indeed option C. And let me explain why this is the correct option. So this for loop starts from -1. Now -1 means last element. When we have index -1, then it is the last element, that is 5. And when we say -1 over here, so this is the step size. Step size -1 means after 5, it will go -1 to 4, then 4 to -1, 3, and then to 2. Like this, it will go. -1 meaning it will go in the, it will subtract 1 and go in the negative direction. And it stops at minus len. That's why it will stop at the element 2. Length is what? Length is, length of this is 5. Okay. So it stops at -5. That means it will stop at, means it will go up until -5. So it will stop one less than that. So it will stop at -4. So as a result, it stops at 2. Had it been, means this option would have been there had the for loop been, so if you would have had for loop as for I in range -1 minus len t -1 and -1. If you would have had this, then you would have option B. Option A would be if your for loop is for I in range 0 to length of the tuple and step size 1. Or simply you could just write, simply instead of this you can write range length of tuple. You can simply write this, then it will give you this. And the option D would be if your for loop is like for I in range like this. Okay, so let us move forward to the next question.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Okay,
Hello.
please ask.
I have written in the chat box.
Okay, won't it go from -1 to last element to 0, the first element? This is, you are asking for option B, right? Why option B has been selected? See, it starts from -1. -1 is what? -1 is the last element, which is 5. Okay, and then you do -1 more, so you go from 5 to 4. Then you do another -1, you go from 4 to 3. And where do you stop finally? So in the range, it goes up until minus length of t. Okay, now length of this tuple t is 5. So minus length of tuple t would be -5. Now in Python, when you do indexing, let's say I give the indexing from 1 to 5, then it omits 5. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. It does not, 5 is not inclusive. So this minus length of t is not inclusive. It will stop one element before that. Okay. So minus length t means -5. So -5 is index for this one. So let me rewrite it somewhere here. So tuple is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let me write down the index of each of these. So index -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay. And when you go from let's say when you go from -1 to -5, this one is omitted. It is not inclusive. So it will go only up until this. Does that clear your doubt? Suraj? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you are saying the answer should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, why it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? It will start from -1,
Yes, ma'am,
which is
because
the
it should
last
start.
element.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Minus length, which is -5, and it should be the first element, that is 1.
Yes, but it is exclusive. So this, it will stop at this. Means this is exclusive. It is not inclusive whenever you have indexing in Python. Okay? When you say range 5, let's say you say range 5. What do you get? You get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You do not get 5. You do not get 5. So the last number is always exclusive. Okay. So I hope this clarifies the thing. If you have any more doubt, please feel free to ask. Okay, next question is also a code snippet. So it asks you to find out the output of the following piece of code. I'll give you all a minute to solve this. Okay, so one needs to predict the output of this piece of code. This is about characters and their ASCII codes. Everyone, please try to attempt. Okay, let me now stop the poll. So the correct option in this is option A. And let us go to Spider, type this piece of code and let us check for ourselves. So let me open Spider. So I hope all of you can see the Spider screen. Let me make the font a little bit bigger. Okay, so let me type this piece of code. So we have initialized our word as Facebook. Then we have a for loop. So I hope all of you are familiar with the modular operator. If not, the modular operator that is denoted by this percentage sign gives you the remainder after division. So please mute yourselves if you do not have any doubt. Okay, so here is the code. Let us run it. See, the output is Facebook itself. Okay, so let us come back to our notes. So essentially what is happening over here is uh, you are adding uh, 26, and then there is this modulo operator which is basically remainder after dividing by 26. So that will essentially leave you with I itself, whatever I is, because you're adding 26, then you are dividing by 26. So whatever the remainder is from that division operation, that will it will leave you with I itself. And then you have minus 97 here, and then you are doing plus 97. It's kind of cancels each other out, not exactly, because first this modulo operator is there, but once you do the modulo operator, then finally everything comes back to the same original word. So for those of you who do not know, this is called modulo operator, and it gives you remainder. Okay, and this might be a new command. What this does is this converts character uh, to the Unicode code or ASCII code. Okay, and this converts back to character. So let us go back to Spider and let us.
Can you repeat what is the
Yeah, so ORD is.
Unicode?
Yeah, ORD is a command which gives you the Unicode code for a particular character, and CHR converts the code back into the character. So let us go to Spider and specifically see what these commands do. Then it will become more clear. So here is Spider. Let us say I want to know Oh, sorry, I need to put in the string inside. So string. See, this is the ASCII code or Unicode code for small a. If I do for capital A, it is 65. Okay, we all know that. So capital A is 65, small a is 97. And if I do convert it back to characters, so I would have to do, let's say, CHR 97, that should give me small a. See, we get small a. And if I do CHR of 65, that should give me capital A. So this is what this command ORD and CHR does. ORD gives you the code and CHR gives you the character. So I hope these two commands are clear now. So let me write down. So capital A is 65, small a is 97. Okay, and moving in this direction from the character to the code, the command used is ORD, and moving from the code, that is the number, to the character is by the command CHR. Okay, so I hope this is clear now. If not, feel free to ask questions. Okay, next question. This also has this ORD command over here. So now you know what ORD does. So the question is, what will be the output of the following program, or rather, when will the following program print clap? So there is this print statement over here, print clap. So the question is, when will this piece of code print clap? So let me relaunch the poll. So you have 10 more seconds. Okay, so let us now discuss the answer. So most of you have got this answer right. Let me share the results. So indeed, the correct option is option B, when player 2 will enter the next letter with respect to player 1. And why this is so? Because player 1 is entering one character, player 2 is entering one character. This ORD gives you the code, and this if condition over here is that if when the code of player 1 plus 1, so there is this plus 1, is equal to the code of player 2, then it will print clap. So that means when player 2 enters the next letter with respect to player 1. Okay, because the Unicode codes are also sequential. So after A you have B, so the Unicode will also increase by plus 1. Then from B to C it will increase by plus 1. Like that the code Unicode is defined. Okay, so simple question. Next we have another programming based question. So let me relaunch the poll. Okay, so which of statement is correct about the following program? So here is a program, and this program is making some plots. So over here we are having some plot, and the options are how the graph will look like, whether it will go up, down, or how it will go based on what your guess and pick values are. So that's the question. Please try to answer. So all of you, please try to attempt. Okay, so let me now stop the poll. So most of you got this wrong. So let me discuss the answer. So the answer is option B, both B and C. Now see why this is happening. When guess is not equal to pick, then count is increasing, okay? So count is increasing over here. So the graph will go up. So graph will go up when guess and pick are not same. This exclamation equal to means not equal. Okay, and so when else condition means, else means when guess is equal to pick. At this point, your count is decreasing. That means graph will go down. So when guess and pick are same, the graph will go down. So this statement is correct. When guess and pick are same, then the graph will go down. And when they are not same, the graph will go up. Okay. So guess not equal to pick, graph goes up. Guess equal to pick, graph goes down. That's why both B and C are the correct options. So I hope now it is clear. So let us.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
Ma'am, in this particular piece of code, there is no like the x-axis and y-axis is not specified.
Yeah, so whenever x-axis is not specified, default x-axis is taken as integer values. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay?
No,
So,
I mean, like in the x there should be a one parameter and y there should
yes,
be one parameter.
so
In that
when you
case,
have,
guess and pick.
yes, that's what I'm saying. Whenever you have a plot command, either you have x comma y like this, or you can also have something like this, just the y values. Now what happens? By default, it takes the x-axis as default x is taken as 0, 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth, integer values. Integer values which are of the same size as y. So size of x is same as size of y.
Ma'am, you mean to say the size, like scaling factor?
No, by size I mean number of elements.
Okay.
Okay, so when you do not, when you have only one argument in the plot, then that is taken as the y-axis values, and the default x-axis is taken as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up until the number of elements in y. So let's say you have 5 elements in y, then your x-axis would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, by default it will take that. Okay, very good question. So these are the two ways in which you can use plot. So it is not necessary always to specify the x-axis. Python automatically takes the x-axis. So if you have some integer values, then you need not specify your x-axis. And the reason why it is not specified here is because of this command. So your x-axis is essentially 0, 1, 2, 3 up until 9. So these are integer values and I do not need to explicitly specify x-axis in this. Okay. So
Okay.
fine. So we can move ahead. Okay, now a very simple question. So I hope all of you will get this one right. Let me start the poll. Okay, what does NLTK do? So you have seen the use of this NLTK Python package. So the question is, what does this do? So you have seen this in this week, the use of this package. So take a few more seconds. All of you, please try to answer. Okay, let me now stop the poll. So you saw this package in that Facebook sentiment analysis. Okay, so this is one question which all of you have got right, and I'm so happy. This is the first question of this course which everyone got right. So NLTK package helps to work with human language data. I think all of you uh, deserve a thumbs up for getting this one. All of you have got this one right. So NLTK stands for Natural Language Toolkit.
Madam, can you tell us what is token size
Sorry?
in that NLTK?
Yeah, what exactly is your
Token
query?
size. Token size.
Could you please type in the chat box? I think I'm not able to understand or hear this thing
Yes, yes.
properly.
I will type in chat box.
Yeah, could you just type it? I am waiting for it. I will
Yes,
answer
yes,
this
yes.
thing. So NLTK package, all of you would have seen this in this current week when we were discussing how to do the Facebook sentiment analysis. Okay, so let me see. Someone is asking some question. Okay, what is the, someone is asking token size in NLTK package. Okay, I need to apologize over here. I am not sure as to what the token size is. So maybe I also need to check. I'm sorry, offhand I do not know what is the token size,
Okay,
and
no problem.
yeah, and how to use this thing. So maybe in the next class I will figure this out for you and explain this over here. So you want to know how to use this function, token size function? Is that the thing or what?
Yeah,
Sorry, tokenize.
oh, like that.
Sorry, it's not.
Tokenize,
By
tokenize.
the way, tokenize is the way, is the correct thing. Token size is not the thing. Tokenize is the function. Is that what you want to know? Token
For what
size.
purpose?
Token size I
Uh,
have not heard, but
no,
tokenize
no,
is the
no,
function.
no, no. That is wrongly typed.
Okay.
Tokenize that.
Okay, tokenize. Okay, so frankly speaking, I am not much aware of tokenize and what how to use that thing, but I will definitely look it up and come in the next class. In the
Okay, thank
meanwhile,
you.
what is good about all of these Python packages is that because Python is an open source language, so being open source, it has very good help and documentation and everything. So people write their own packages and upload it, and that's how Python grows. So here is the documentation for NLTK. You can go ahead and watch this, read this documentation, and next time I would try to answer whatever query that you have. Okay, so let's
Okay.
move forward. Now, a very simple piece of code is here. What is the output of the following code? So let me relaunch the poll. It's a very simple code. So we have a string, then sorted function is being used, then reverse function is being used, and then we need to select the correct option. Okay, so symbols, special characters come in the front, and they are arranged according to their Unicode. Okay, so
Madam, if numbers are there,
sorry.
if there are numbers, how it will be sorted?
Yeah, so whatever the Unicode is there, so Unicode of each of these characters are taken for sorting. So you need to check the Unicode of the numbers. I don't remember the Unicode of the numbers. But sorting is done for any kind of strings. The sorting is done based on their Unicode or the ASCII code.
Okay, okay, thank you.
So similarly, if you have capital letters and small letters, then capital letters take precedence because their Unicode value is lesser. and small letters come afterwards. So we discussed this Unicode somewhere. Yeah, so capital A is 65, small a is 97. So if you have capital A and small a, then capital A will take precedence and it will come earlier as opposed to uh, small letters. So that's how sorting is done.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Okay, so
Ma'am, what are Unicodes actually?
oh, so these are Unicode or ASCII codes. These are basically numbers assigned to every character. Okay, every alphabet, every special character, every key on the keyboard has a number assigned to it. So that is the Unicode. So and that is like universal. So no matter what kind of keyboard you have, every particular key will have one number assigned to it. So that is Unicode, and
Oh,
that is used to basically do any kind of string manipulations, any operations on strings that you do. For example, how do you sort a string, right? This is a question on sorting a string. Now, how do you even sort a string? What do you mean by sorting a string? A string can have alphabets, it can have numbers, it can have special characters, it can have spaces in between, it can have everything. Now, how do you sort such
okay.
a
So
string?
basically,
Yeah, go
and
ahead.
computer actually transforms. Yeah, so computer actually transforms the like the string into Unicode and compare the value.
Yes, that's right. So there are two steps. So first step would be the Unicode, then the next step would be the binary. So first step, it will take the string, convert to Unicode, and do the comparison, and then do the comparisons, and then finally, because computer can only read binary, so that's how it. First step is the Unicode conversion. Next step is the binary conversion. So once you define Unicode, let's say
So then,
capital.
how binary code?
No, so let's say capital A is defined the Unicode 65, and 65 then you can convert to binary. Okay, that is how.
How can I do that?
Oh, you are not aware of the binary conversion. So
No, ma'am.
okay, so
Can you
binary
suggest me anything like
binary
any website
conversion
or
is
something like that?
binary
Opa.
conversion is simple. Okay, I can give you a brief intro of binary. We will not go into the detailed method of how to do the arithmetic, but simply decimal. Let's say we have decimal, and then we have binary. Okay, so decimal 0 is same as binary 0. Decimal 1 is binary 1. Decimal 2 would be 1 0. Now, how I wrote 1 0? It's because if you look at this, then what you have, first place is 2 to the power 1, second place is 2 to the power 0. Okay, so that's how it is. And then
Okay.
if you have a third digit over here, it will be 2 to the power 2. Just like in decimal, what do you have? Decimal, you have in decimal, what do? Decimal, you do powers of 10, 10 to the power 0, 10 to the power 1, 10 to the power 2. That's how you have in decimal, right? The values. So in binary, you go in powers of 2. So that's how you can do.
Okay.
Okay. Similarly, so I think now you can tell
And
me.
can you suggest any websites so that I can like learn more about binary?
Oh, means this is like not just one particular website. You can actually, for example, if you want, you can look at Geek for Geeks. Okay, Geek for Geeks is a website which is very good for any kind of programming language and programming topics. So Geek for Geeks, I can type in the chat
Okay,
box.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Geek for Geeks. It has not just Python, C++, every kind of programming language, and all the concepts are also discussed in it. So this is one website that you can go and try to see things. Okay, so
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
yeah, great. So let's move on. This is a true false type question. So the question is, let me start the poll first. So this is a true false question. While converting an image into black and white during enhancement, you cannot convert it back into a colored image. So this is true or false. You need to uh, select. Okay, so very simple question. Let me stop the poll now. So the correct option is false. So just like you can convert a colored image to grayscale, you can also do the reverse. You can convert a grayscale into back into color. So there is no problem with that. So let's move on. Okay, another code based question, which again has this ORD and CHR functions that we saw previously. So uh, now we need to find out the output of the following code. The options are convert lowercase letters into uppercase letters, convert uppercase letters into lowercase letters, return the same word, or throw error. So you need to select the correct option of what this code will do. So try to attempt this question. Take a few minutes to solve this. Okay, it seems people are finding this a little bit difficult. People are not answering this question. Okay, now people are answering. Okay, take a few more minutes to try and attempt. Okay, so let me stop the poll. So the correct option is convert lowercase letters into uppercase. That is option A. And why this is the case? This is because of this minus 32. Okay. If you remember, capital A, the code was 65. small a, the code was 97. So this difference is of 32. So from capital to small, if you go, you want to capital to small is plus 32. And from small to capital is minus 32. So that's why it is converting lowercase letters into uppercase letters because of this subtraction of 32. Okay, so let's move forward. This question is again on tuples. So we saw in the beginning of this lecture some questions on tuples. Now again there are a few questions on tuples. Very simple. Which of the following is the correct representation of tuples? There are four options. You need to select which options are correct.
Ma'am, you haven't started.
Sorry.
Ma'am,
Is
you
the
haven't started a
oh,
poll.
poll is not started? Okay. Oh, sorry. Let me see. Yeah, now it is started. Yeah, now I think the poll has started. Okay, so I'll stop the poll now. So this was a multiple correct option question. So option B, most of you are selected, which is correct. But option C is also correct. Option B is simply a tuple. And option C is a tuple of tuples. Just like option A is a list and option D is a list of lists. So both B and C are correct. So this was a multiple choice correct type of question. Okay, so moving forward. Why is gambling not recommended? So in this week, there was a video on lottery simulation as well, in which we simulated the process of gambling. So you need to select the option. Let me start the poll. Why is gambling not recommended? Option A says because you lose every time. Option B, because you win every time. Or because the loss amount is greater than winning amount, and or because winning amount is greater than the loss amount. Okay, this is very simple question. Even on the basis of uh like moral and ethical grounds you can answer this. No need for any programming or computing. Okay, 10 more seconds. Okay, so let me stop the poll. Okay, I see someone has selected option B. That is, you win every time. So if there is something in which I win every time, then why would I not recommend it? That's my question. Anyway, the correct answer is option C, because the loss amount is greater than the winning amount over time. Definitely option B and option D are they don't make sense. Why? Because if you win every time, then why would it not be recommended? Or even if the winning amount is greater than the losing amount, then also it would be recommended, right? Everybody wants to win every time. I don't think people want to lose unless and until you want to increase your mental toughness to be able to deal with loss. Anyway, moving forward, uh, which of the following programs will print the exact same word? So this is also a multiple choice correct type of question. So you need to see which of these two which of the codes out of these four options will print the exact same word. The word over here is NPTEL. So which of these four codes will print NPTEL itself? And something similar we had seen in one of the above questions. Let me go back and show you. Where is it? I forgot. Yeah, this question number 4. So it's pretty much similar to question number 4. In fact, question number 4 is one of the options, and you need to select one more option. So let me go back now. Yeah. So take a few minutes. Okay, so let me now stop the poll. And before proceeding, let us go to Spider and let us check uh, all these four options. So see, one of the options has already been written from the previous question, that is question 4. So that is already written over here. So let us change this word. NPTEL is what they want. And instead of W, it is written I. Let me just put exact same symbols. Then this one is called J. Then this one is called K. This one is J. This is I. Just for consistency's sake, I am trying to change the notation to the notation given in the code. Okay, so this is option A, and we run this and we know it is the same word, NPTEL. Okay, let us look at option B. In option B, we don't have this minus 97, we don't have this plus 97. Okay, we just have this. Okay, wait, what happened? My computer. I don't know, my computer is crashing. Wait, let me restart. Okay, so this was option A. Yeah, everything is fine. Great. So now you notice what is happening is when you are doing this, okay, this is for option B. Then your output is turned, you are not seeing any output. Now, one of the reason for this is every key on your keyboard has a Unicode. So even spacebar has a Unicode, even enter has a Unicode, even backspace has a Unicode. So all these things like control, alt, spacebar, enter, shift, backspace, these keys, you will not see the output on screen because, well, these keys are not any symbols. They are just some functions. So when you encounter those keys, you will not see the output. You will just, I mean, you can't make out because they are functions essentially. They are not symbols. So option B is not correct. Let's try option C. What is option C? Option C says minus 97, then modulo 26, and then plus 97. Okay, I hope I'm writing it correctly. See, now this is giving you the same word, NPTEL. Finally, let's try option D. So option D says plus 26, then minus 97, then, oh sorry, plus 26 minus 97 here, then modulo 26, and then plus 97. Okay, so let's run it. I hope I am doing everything right. Let me just see. Oh, sorry, this is not CHRK. This should be just K for option D. Okay, so this will not give you the answer. This will give you error. Why? Because K is a number and new is a string. You can't add numbers to strings. You can only convert these numbers into characters. So when you convert into characters, then only you can add to strings. You can add basically similar kind of things. You can add numbers with numbers or strings with strings. You can't do number plus string. So option D is incorrect because that is incorrect addition and it will throw up error. So finally, let's come back to our notes.
Actually, B was printing special characters.
Yes, B was printing special characters. So this guy is special character. Or operations means any of those, even keys like spacebar, control, enter, shift, caps lock, tab, all these things also have Unicodes. So special characters, including function keys, means including those things will also be there. They also have Unicodes actually. So these things also have Unicode. So if you encounter those things, then also you can see that this thing is error because this is incompatible. You can't add number to a string, so this thing is a number. This right here is a string. You can only add to similar kind of similar things. So option A and option C are the correct options. Okay, let's move forward. This was, by the way, last.
Ma'am, in the case,
Yeah.
ma'am, for option D,
Hmm.
we haven't even converted the character into this Unicode.
Yeah,
Like
so
the
that
second
is.
line, J equals to I.
Yeah, so oh, sorry. I think I wrote in the spider wrong or what. Let me check. So that is a problem. We have not converted it. So problem is here also, problem is here also. So j equal to I means this is a string, because I is a string or a character rather, just a single character. And then you are trying to add numbers to characters, that is incompatible addition. So incompatibility comes here itself in the very first line over here. So you are trying to add numbers to strings or strings to numbers. Those kind of additions are not possible. You can add strings with strings or numbers with numbers. Yeah, thank you for pointing this out. So in the very first line here and here, the incompatibility comes into picture. Okay, so this was the last
Ma'am,
yeah.
hello.
Yes.
A and C are same option, I think, or are they different?
A and C are different options, but they print the same word. That's why both the options are correct. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so moving forward. Now we have something on image compression and enhancement. Using which of the following methods a person can store a million images in small digital storage? So let me start the poll for this as well. Okay, so let me stop the poll. So yeah, people have got it right. The option is compression and enhancement. So first you compress it and then you enhance the image later on, and that's how you can store many images in a small storage space. Next question, or true false type question, again based on image compression. So the question is, a lot of information can be revealed from images using the right kind of enhancement. Is this true or false? Okay, let me stop the poll. The correct answer is true. Moving forward, type 10 will return what? So you need to select the option. If you write this particular code snippet, then what will the output be? Int, str, float, or list? Okay, most of you should get this right, and most of you are getting it right. So let me stop the poll and share the results. So yeah, most of you have got it right, which is nice. The correct option is int. So 10 is an integer number. That's why the type is int. If you would do something like type a maybe, then you will get str. If you do something like type 10.0, then you would get float. And if you do type of 10 like this, then you would get list. Okay, so these are the different data types which are present in Python. Okay, so moving on, next question. Which of the following pairs of words are anagrams? So we were introduced to the concept of anagrams in this week 8. So just to recap, anagrams are words which use the same letters. Okay. For example, rat and art and tar. These are anagrams. They use the same set of letters arranged in different order. So everyone please try to attempt the question. Okay, let me stop the poll. So the correct option is option A as well as option C. These are anagrams, meaning they use the same set of letters. Next question. Using PIL, how can an image called named IMG be flipped? So you need to flip the image. So how would you do that? Again, this was seen in the image enhancement video. Okay, it seems people are randomly selecting options. The correct option is image dot transpose. So images are stored in the form of matrices. Okay, so images are stored in the form of matrices, and matrix operations are used to do any kind of image manipulation. So flipping is done by the matrix operation of transpose. Okay, so let us move on to the next question. We have two more questions. Again, on NLTK. So what is the purpose of NLTK? We discussed this question previously as well. So once again, just to recap and revise. Okay, let me now stop the poll. So the correct option is to process human language. Now the last MCQ type question, and then we have programming based questions. How does Vader help in sentiment analysis? So in Facebook sentiment analysis, we encountered this Vader. So how does it help? That's the question. Okay, 10 more seconds. Fine, let me now stop the poll. The correct option is option C, both A and B. It calculates whether the statement is negative, positive, or neutral, as well as gives the intensity of the statement. That is the final overall output, whether it is what is the score of that statement. From that, you can uh, assess how much positive, how much negative, and how much neutral it is. So that brings us to the end of the MCQ questions. Uh, Now we have a few programming based questions. So the first programming based question is, given a tuple t, create a function square t which accepts one argument and returns a tuple containing similar elements given in tuple t and its squares in sequence. So for example, you have this input tuple, let's say 1, 2, 3. Then the output should be 1, 2, 3 as it is, means the tuple input tuple as it is, and then the squares. So square of 1 is 1, square of 2 is 4, and square of 3 is 9. That way. Okay. So this is how it should be.
Ma'am,
Yes.
Ma'am, can you please explain that which accepts one argument? What exactly that means?
Oh, one argument meaning one tuple. Argument of a function is what it takes in. So you do not have to take in 3, 4 numbers and then give the square of those numbers. You have to take one argument. That means all the numbers should be in one tuple. So one argument means one element the function should take.
Okay.
Yeah, and that one element could be anything. It could be a list, a tuple, uh, a number, a float, or a string or anything, but it should be just one element that the function takes in. A function can take in multiple things as an input. It need not take just one thing as an input. So here it is specifying that you have to take only one data as an input. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah.
As a tuple.
Yeah. So this is the input and output. This is what we want to achieve. So let us write down the function. So function name they have given us should be square t, and it should take in the tuple t. So you see inside this function only one argument it is taking. We can also have, let's say, some random function which takes in 2 arguments. So this is 2 arguments. So just random dummy function.
Then based on these arguments, we have to put the input.
Sorry.
Based on these arguments,
Hmm.
we have to put the input.
Yes. So if this function takes, let's say, I'll give you a dummy example. So this is a dummy example. So let's say this is a random function. It takes 2 arguments. And then let's say what we want to do is we want to define, let's say, sum of this, and then we are returning the sum. Okay. And now when you are calling the function, let's say I want to call the function and print the output. So you would pass 2 numbers to it. You are passing also 2 numbers and it is receiving 2 arguments. This is how it would work. So the function takes 2 numbers as input, so you have to provide it with 2 numbers. So that's how multiple arguments in functions work. But we are told that we are supposed to take in one argument, so that's why we will take in one tuple as the argument. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put the colon here. Yeah. So this is the function. Let's say I want to create some random variable. I'll call it temp. So let me convert this tuple to a list. Why I'm converting the tuple to a list is because tuples cannot be appended. So once I have this tuple t like this, I cannot append to it. So I need to convert it into a list, and then I can append these squares to it. So I convert it to a list, and then I can append to it. And what will I append? I will append the square. Square meaning I into I. Okay. And then I will return. Now I need to return it as a tuple, not as a list. So I will use typecasting into tuple. So first I typecast it to list. Here I convert to list. Why convert to list? In order to append. Because tuples cannot be appended. And then I will convert it back into a tuple. Because
Ma'am,
yes.
in that line where you have written I into I, instead of that, if we write I to the power 2.
So to the power works like this. Like this.
Star.
Star.
So what if we do that?
Yeah, you can do that. This is equivalent to saying I into I, and mathematically this is basically I squared. So you can use either of these.
Okay.
Yeah, good point. So it this notation is more general, so you should probably use this, because this way you can do to the power n, that is I to the power n you can do. So this is a more generic way, so you should rather stick to this method. But for square it doesn't really make much of a difference. Okay, so this is the function. So we have the function, and how will we call the function? So let's say we have some list L, then we will convert it to into a tuple, and then the final answer would be by calling this function, and then we can print the answer. So someone was asking me last time how to take input as a list. Means here I am writing it like this. Someone was asking as to how to take from the user. So I had suggested either you could take it as a list of as some numbers and then put it into a list. But there turns out that there are some neat ways of taking input as a list. So there are 3 neat ways of taking input, and I will write it down over here for your reference. Personally, I never, whenever we do any mathematical or physical numerical computations that we do based for our own research work, we typically do not need user inputs for these kind of things. So we just define our lists at the top of the program, whatever we have, or we take it from some data file, Excel sheet or data files. From there we take the lists. We never really, personally I've never really encountered the need to take lists as input from users. But anyway, so here is a way of doing it. It's a syntax, something like this. Input.split is used, or you could use something like this. So you could write L equal to, if this is just syntax, do not worry as to what is happening. It's if it looks too much complicated. Okay, so these are ways you can take input of list from users. Anyway, this is not so much important over here. So now let us move to Spider and type this piece of code and check whether it performs the task that we want. So let's get rid of all of this. Okay, so we need to define our function. Okay, now we will call the function. For me, I do not care about input, so I'll just write it here. Oh, sorry, this should be L. Yeah, so everything looks fine. Let us run it. Oh, sorry, I forgot to do I into I here, or as someone suggested, we can do like this. See, now we get the desired output that we want. 1, 2, 3 was the input, and 1, 4, 9 is the squares of 1, 2, and 3. So this is working fine. Everything is nice and good. We can try some more numbers. Let's say 10 and 12 and 17, let's say. So 10 square is 100, 12 square is 144, 17 square is 289. You can add more numbers, maybe let's say 19. So 19 square is 361. So it's working perfectly fine. Now we can come back, go to the next question. So I see that some people are reacting to messages in chat box. How do you react? I do not know. I can only put emojis like this. How to react to I mean, this is nothing to do with Python. This, I'm just wondering in Zoom how you react to a message. I see that some people have reacted to the message. For example,
Ma'am, I think by using like the tag, long tag kind of a key,
what kind of
it's only
key?
available for mobile.
Oh, only on mobile. It's not on laptop.
Mhm. I don't think so.
Okay, anyway. Sad. I don't think I can react to things. I can only put an emojis. Yeah, I'm not seeing any.
Radhika, I have told thank you for the for your input. No.
Yeah, so I
List,
was trying to, I saw that some
list of
people are reacting, so I was trying to react a thumbs up to it. But seems like I'm not able to do that. Anyway, okay, great. Fine, sorry for this digression. I was just curious as to how people are using Zoom. I am not aware of this functionality of Zoom. Nevertheless, let's move forward. So this is a question which says, given a string S, write a function replace V that accepts a string and replace the occurrences of 3 consecutive vowels with underscore in that string. Make sure to return the answer string. Okay, so I do not know what the significance of this question could be. Maybe this can be used to basically do some sort of autocorrect, because you typically would not have 3 or 4 vowels consecutively. But anyway, so this is the example. So you see 3 times A is coming, you replace that with an underscore. 3 times O is coming, you replace that with an underscore as well. Okay, wait, someone is having a question. If we can't append elements in the tuple, then why are we converting the list to tuple in the first place? Very good question. That's because the question explicitly asked us to use a tuple. Okay. This question was to make you gain some practice with using tuples. By now, all of you are experts in using lists. You know how to use lists. Tuple was introduced in this week. So the aim of this question is just to make you familiar with tuples. So we could have done this question simply by using the list. Simply by using the list, and then we can simply get the square of all the elements in the list. We do not need to do anything with tuples. But since the question was to basically use tuples. That's why it is like this. Okay. I hope that answers your question. Okay, let's move. But we didn't do anything with tuple. We actually did it with list. We only did conversion. That's it. Yeah, that's pretty much true. So, the question was to take tuple as an input argument. We cannot take list as an input argument, but we need to take tuple as an input argument, and the output also needs to be a tuple. But tuples cannot be appended. So that's a problem. That is how tuples are defined. So then how do you append it? Because your output needs to be appended. You have to have the original numbers and then add the squares to it. So that is how tuples would work. I mean, that is how the output you want. And tuples cannot be appended. So the only way to work around this is to convert it to a list. So you are pretty much right in your own space that we can just use lists and forget about this tuple business. But aim of this question was just to make you familiar with the syntax of using tuples and what is the kind of things that you can face with tuples, nothing else. Okay, yeah, coming to this question. So replace three consecutive vowels with an underscore. That is this question. So let us first write a function which characterizes whether something is a vowel or not. So for that, we call it is vowel. What does this do is we have a string which of all the vowels. Okay. And if the character is a vowel, then it should return true. Else it should return false. This is just to identify what characters are vowels. Next, we define this function replace v. So it takes a string as an input. So let's find the length of that string. And let's initialize our answer.
Ma'am,
Yes.
here also we are like considering one argument, right?
Yes. So it accepts a string. So that string is one argument. Okay. So now we need to check whether we have these vowels. Three consecutive vowels. So that means at location I, then at location I plus 1, and at location I plus 2 for three consecutive locations. So why we did I plus 1, I plus 2, these are three consecutive characters, and we need to check whether they are vowels or not. And if they are vowels, then we need to replace that with an underscore. And then we need to move to the next character. So that's why +3 after the 3 consecutive characters. Else we need to leave it unchanged. So whatever the character is, we'll append that. And then we'll move to the next character. And then we'll return. Okay, so you take the input from the user, some string, and then you print the output. So let's get back to Spider. Let me remove all of this. Okay, first function to characterize whether something is a vowel or not. So these are my vowels. And if my character is in vowel, then I will return true, else I will return false. Now the replacing part. Why I is initialized as 0? That's because you want to start from the first character. Then you want to check whether 3 consecutive characters are vowels or not. And then finally return. And take the input from the user. Oh, sorry, input spelling I've written wrong. And then call the function. Fine, let us now run this. So I need to type the input. Let's try the example input. See, we get the correct output. A occurred 3 times, so it is replaced by underscore. O occurred 3 times, it is replaced by underscore. E is also a vowel, but it occurs only once, so it remains as it is. And L and H are not even vowels, so they also remain as it is. So this is also done. And finally, we will move to the last question.
Hello.
Yes.
I have a doubt. What happened if there are more than three vowels in consecutive more than three consecutive vowels, like
So it
four
will,
or five?
no, it will replace only the first three. You see, it starts from I plus 1, I plus 2. So it will replace only the first three of them. I can, okay, let's go back to spider and then show that. Okay, so let's do this. See, it replaces only the first three O's and leaves the last O as it is. So whatever the first three occurrences are there, it will replace that. Okay, so let's get back. Finally, last question. This is a very simple question. Given a list L, write a program to shift all zeros in list L towards the right by maintaining the order of the list and also print the new list. Okay. And this example input is there, and this is the output for that particular example. So all the zeros are shifted to the right end and the order of the other elements 1, 3 and 12 are as it is. So this is our aim. So let us write the piece of code. So let's say we have some input list. Let's take this input list as it is, example input. Then let us count the zeros. How many zeros are there? And initialize I. So when we encounter a zero, what we want to do is we want to remove that zero. So this is done by the pop command. Pop command basically removes the element or deletes the element, and then we want to append it at the end. Okay, so pretty simple piece of code. We can count them and delete them from the list and then append them again to the end of the updated list. Would that work? Perfectly, that will work. So what Suraj is saying, you can count them and then you can basically it's similar thing only is being done. You are counting the zeros, counting how many zero are there. Then at every location, so you need to run a for loop scanning over the list L. Then whenever your, let's say, index I is there, this for loop is with index I, whenever this is there, then you delete it by the pop command and append it at the end. So that's what is being done. Same thing, similar way you can So whatever you have written, that is perfectly fine. Okay, so let's come back to Spider. So we are removing 0 and we are appending it at the end. And finally, we want to print the list. See, we are getting the correct output. So the other elements, the order is preserved, and all the total number of zeros, they are appended at the end. So this is what we wanted, and this is what we have finally achieved. So this brings us to the end of this current week's session. And for those of you who joined late, uh, let me put the link to the YouTube channel in the chat box. So this is the link to the YouTube channel where each of these live sessions are live streamed. So if you have happened to miss some of the previous sessions, you can go ahead to that YouTube channel and watch the previous lessons. And you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and then you will be notified for all the upcoming week's sessions and whenever some new videos are uploaded on the YouTube channel. So thank you very much, and uh, this was it for week 8. So 2 months are done. Now one more month to go for this course. 8 weeks over, 4 more weeks. This is a 12 weeks course. So hopefully all of you are enjoying and doing well.
Yes, madam, we are enjoying.
Yeah, okay, great.
This was my very first lecture of yours, the session of yours. But I am proud of you. You have covered very efficiently so many problems.
Thank you so much. So it is nice to get feedback from this all of you, and it feels great since this is your first session. So if you want to watch any of the previous sessions, then that's the link to the YouTube channel. All the previous weeks sessions, they are uploaded
Yes.
over there.
Yes. I will enjoy that.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you
thank you, madam.
everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.